What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, trolls and citizens, the JJs and PPs? It's your boy ex-lover Newman. Man, where do I begin? What is wrong with this world? This world and its evilness. It's dissecting many evil intentions. There's people going around absorbing and swallowing all kinds of cocks for no reason. There are people like me who is having trouble with his sexuality because my bowel movements have begun to feel too good, and starting to wonder now if I might be curious about male sausage in the anal canal, which now I'm glad to say to everybody, I'm over it, a couple of days ago in my neighborhood, they finally captured this guy with 150 innocent hamster bones. And they caught him. They got him. There's happiness and there's sadness to life. You get all around the world all kinds of different things. And, I go in my own place to escape. You guys, you're morons, you're losers, so you'll go to McDonald's or Burger King or all the devil's food. Meanwhile, I'll go to a vegan restaurant and have a blast. But my point about that is usually I don't go and look at the news. I don't care about the news. I'm that dude that doesn't know what the fuck is going on in the world unless it's important. Unless it's anime news. Excuse me, by the way. I'm getting over some kind of chest cold. So I go, I never check the news. I go on the news and I see this news about Sam Smith. That's the guy that's saying "Stay With Me." I like that song. That's my jam. I see this thing with Sam Smith, this big deal, and it said something like Sam Smith versus Michael Jackson, the controversy. So I'm like, what the fuck Sam Smith say? What did he say? I'm thinking in my head already in the future because I'm a psychic. I'm thinking in my head already, oh shit, Sam Smith said something about how he would suck Michael's wiener. Sam Smith probably said something along the lines of he would love for Michael to moonwalk all over his balls. This is what I'm thinking in my head Sam Smith said. He's homosexual, so it makes sense for me to think that, by the way. In case people didn't know. Some people don't know these important things in life. Excuse me, sorry, I didn't mean to clear my throat in the mic. That probably was so loud. My apologies. That being said, also, I really don't give a fuck. Anyway, so I go on the tweeters, and, I see, mind you, the night before this, I got jumped by raccoons, so I'm already kind of in a bad mood. And we need to do something about that. When I go outside to take my trash out every night, Ladybug doesn't do it, I do it. I go out sometimes with my dogs. This happened to be the night that I didn't, and a fucking raccoon grabbed my hand. And at first I thought it was a Mexican. And the reason why I thought it was a Mexican, because raccoons have very, very Mexican energy. They literally feel like Mexicans. And that's not racist to say. More scientific than anything. So one raccoon's just starts going after my leg, and it's like doing that shit. I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? So I'm like kicking it around, martial arts skills. I've been in, I've wanted to be in the UFC and MMA for years until I finally gave that leaf up. Simply because it just wasn't the smartest path. I didn't want to end up fucking 35 years on a wheelchair talking like this cause I got punched too much, you know? I didn't want any of that shit. But anyway, martial arts skills don't really apply when you're fighting raccoons. I thought that they might have somehow. So I'm like shaking this raccoon off. Then another one comes out of nowhere. Another fucking Mexican raccoon comes out of nowhere and just like starts jumping on like my thigh, like trying to like get on the waist. I meant to say more so the waist. It was the fucking scariest thing of my life. And just all I kept feeling was Mexican spirit. I kept feeling that energy. So like I eventually like it's like I was like hitting it, and like the other raccoon was like jumping at my waist but like not grabbing onto it for some reason. It was really weird. So I had this broom and I took it and I just started swinging at them. Usually raccoons do not just run away from that. They did though. So after that, when I saw that, I was like, oh, now I understand why Donald Trump feels the way he does about the Mexicans. But anyway, I went back into the house and I was already having like a bad day because of that. So I see on this news about the Sam Smith thing. And it's Adam Lambert, who's also a homosexual, and Ann Smith together on a yacht. Probably just got done absorbing each other's masculine semen. And, you know, Adam Lambert's recording, and he turns to Sam Smith, and Sam Smith, mind you, they're on like a boat. Might have been a boat, a yacht, something like that. They're on a boat, and you know, they're just streaming through the waters, you know, filling the earth, feeling the beautiful vibes. And you could tell Sam Smith maybe didn't know he was recording, or he wasn't sure, or maybe it wasn't live. I'm not sure what the case may be. And they're listening to Human Nature. I assume they're listening to the radio, maybe pop radio or something like that. And, you know, they listen to the radio, and then Sam Smith goes, I like this song. Really good song. Don't like Michael Jackson, though. Something like that. Something along that lines.
I don't like Michael Jackson, but this is a good song.
Oh. And the Michael Jackson community goes fucking AWOL over this. Now, mind you, in my personal opinion, I don't think the cool MJ fans give a fuck about this. I don't think they care. I think they're still taking their Michael Jackson albums and they're playing his music in their house. And not even paying attention to the story, or heard it and were like, so I hear everybody going crazy over this. And then Stephanie Mills, who was Michael Jackson's ex-girlfriend and was a singer at a time, comes out and says something along the lines of, you know, I'm not even going to paraphrase it. I'm going to pick it up right now off my Instagram. I'm not even going to paraphrase it. I'm not even going to do it. And it should be on her Twitter. You know, I'm not really on this stuff much. I am, what's it, Stephanie Mills? Yeah, here we go. All right. So I found it. So she goes, eyebrows, this is on her Instagram, by the way. She goes, don't come for Michael Jackson when you wish you have sold as many records as many records, and you wish you were the king of pop like he was. I'm so tired of you people studying our music and studying our artists and claiming that you don't like our music. Go sit your one-hit wonder ass down and learn how to finish a tour. When you can sell as many records as the king of pop, Michael Jackson, then maybe you can say something. So I say to you, Mr. Smith, have several seats and come for me if you want to. What the fuck? Here we go already with the black girl Shaniqua. Come for me if you want, you know, all this shit. And I'm hearing this news, and I'm only hearing this from my mother because she's a big MJ fan. For me personally, I listen to Michael Jackson maybe once a year. I listen to like randomly, like once in a while, I'll listen to Who Is It? Because my mom was a big fan of Michael, and my father was a huge fan of Prince. And my mom was a fan of Prince too, but my father was like huge fan, and they used to have fun debates about the shit all the time. So I would hear Who Is It, and once in a while I'll play that because that's a really good song, and then maybe once in a while I'll play Wanna Be Starting Something. Other than that, I couldn't tell you anything else really. I couldn't. Like, for me, when it was the whole debate of Michael versus Prince, I was always Team Prince. Always. I don't understand how there's an even competition. Prince is a musical god, you know? But that's going to my point of saying, you know, Shaniqua, aka Stephanie Mills, first of all, she's commenting about him being a one-hit wonder. Stephanie, Stephanie, you, no, nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows who you are. It's literally like an autistic person trying to make fun of an autistic person. It makes no sense. You can laugh, and it makes no sense. She also tries to bring out the strongest Yu-Gi-Oh card, or the strongest Uno card, for those of you who are not part of the anti-gay community or the comic gay community. And she says that, I'm tired of you people stealing our music. How do you know Sam Smith is not obsessed and in love with Marvin Gaye, or Stevie Wonder, or Prince, or the DeBarges? Are they black? Yeah, the DeBarges are black, right? They're like light skin, right? Anyway, or Funkadelic, or Bootsy. I mean, like, how do you know this man? You don't know him personally, so you're automatically judging that he is a racist or a culture vulture just to get the black people rallying up and cheering for you. Yeah, you know, those black people, not the Black Panther crowd of black people. They're dope. They're future blacks. I'm talking about the black people that are stuck in 1920s. You know, those black people. There's future blacks. You know, you got the Will Smith's family, the entire Smith family. You've got Oprah. You got Michael Jackson. You know, I mean, he's passed, but, you know, Prince, you know, Stevie Wonder, Wiz Khalifa, Ray Strimmer, future blacks. You know, these are people that are universal energy, that are not stuck in the time, and they also innovate, you know? Like Wiz Khalifa smokes weed, makes great music, but at the same time, his mind was like, oh, he's just a rapper. No, he actually has his hand in many businesses, and the cannabis business. He has his hand in that. So smart, you know? Future black, you know? Who else is future black? Kendrick Lamar, future black, you know? But anyway, you get these people like Stephanie Mills, who nobody knows who you are. Nobody can sing a song of yours. And I looked her up, and she's an incredible singer. But Michael Jackson fans always do this all the time when someone has an opinion that isn't on their side. Like, MJ fans are the most fucking sensitive. The most sensitive group I've ever seen. Okay, that's an exaggeration. I'm not going to say ever seen. I'm going to say they're one of the most sensitive fans I've ever seen in my life. One of the most. You know, the Naru gay community is that as well. Beyonce. But really, if you want to be even completely honest and try to not even be funny with it, it's really every fan base that's like that. I mean, this is what I want people to really think about for a second. Really think about this. When you bring up album sales, you never think about what made it that. You never think about why it became that. You never think about the process, and you never think about every single person that was involved in that happening in the first place. I'm sorry, but Michael Jackson would never have Thriller if it wasn't for Quincy Jones, who is a musical genius on the level of Prince. I love Prince more, but Quincy Jones is a musician. He's a producer. He is the quintessential idea of a musician. And he wrote and produced most of the songs on Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad. Granted, Michael had his talent in writing and dancing and singing, but Michael Jackson wasn't Prince. He wasn't Beethoven. And you think about all the people, like what's it? I Just Can't Stop Loving You. That's not written by Michael. That's written by I forget the chick's name, but you can pull up the Shaida Garrett or something like that. It's written by her. Like, and it was even admitted on one of the recordings of one of the Jackson 5 documentaries. I wish I could remember what it was. But one of the producers for the Destiny album goes, "Oh yeah, sometimes the Jacksons would have a guy in, like, a guy named Ronald Jackson, for example, like he was the producer or he worked on the drums or whatever. They would have his name used as Jackson on the drums, and then people would read that and go, "Oh, Michael was playing drums," or one of the when that wasn't the case. They said they would do that intentionally. If a guy's name was Michael, they would do that intentionally so that Michael or the Jacksons got more credit. This is a business. It's like when people got shocked when Quincy Jones said Michael stole shit. It's proven. Oh, but X-Lover, how is it proven? I mean, what are you talking? Well, let's go down. Let's go down to the narrative of it. Let's really break this down, right? Billie Jean was a song that Michael said in his own words on a Martin Bashir interview that he came up with the bass line and the song.
What would happen?
If I sat here and played some chords, whatever, and say, I'm going to write the best song I've ever written, nothing happens. Something in the heavens has to say, look, this is the time that this is going to be laid on you, and this is when I want you to have it. Now, I remember when I wrote Billie Jean, I was riding in my car down Ventura Boulevard. All I said to myself beforehand, I want to write a song with a great bass hook, and I just let it go, really. And then several days later, the whole
Where did that come from?
From above.
Out of the heavens. He said that. He alluded to the fact that it was magical. Right? He alluded to that. You can go and see the clip. It's there. It's in your face. So, right? He said that, right? So we're just supposed to believe that, right? Well, that's funny because there's a story on YouTube about a group called Hall and Oates, one of my favorite groups. And they talk about when Michael came up to them, and they told the story while Michael was alive, I believe. They told this story again on a talk show. And they say that Michael came to him and said, I hope you don't mind, I stole your song. I stole your bass line. He said that.
It is true. The first part is true. When we were doing the We Are the World session, everybody was talking to everybody else because there was just the artists in the rooms. And Michael came up to me, in conversation, and he goes, "Hey man, I hope you don't mind if I stole No Can Do." and I went, "What do you mean you stole No Can Do?" He says, "Nah, man, I used it for Billie Jean."
But then why did Michael say that the song came from the heavens? Martin Bashir goes, "How did you come up with that? How did you come up with that?" He doesn't say Hall and Oates. He doesn't say that's what did it. He doesn't say that. He doesn't admit that. You want to know why? Because people in the business, to be number one, to be in the news all the time, to be looked at as a god, to be looked at as whatever, they lie. And Michael was not innocent in that at all. I hate to burst your moonwalking, glittering socks, MJ fans, but that's just not the case. I don't even know how I got on that subject, but my point of what I'm saying is that you have to understand that when Thriller sold 100 million copies, there are 7 billion human beings on this planet, maybe more, maybe less. Billions of people. And I love this theory here. There are billions of people on this planet. 100 million people bought Thriller. That means 1 billion people could hate Thriller. 1 billion people can hate Thriller. All my friends around me don't listen to Michael Jackson. They don't. They don't. Does that mean Michael Jackson's legacy is dead? No, he's going to live on forever. He's going to be in everybody's field of music. You're going to hear him all the time through people who are into that. But I hate to tell you, there are people who are not. And when Stephanie comes out of her chocolate sass, out of the ghetto home she's in, and starts to talk about the fact that Sam Smith is a culture vulture, basically, she's implying that. Or that he's a racist, one or the other. She's implying that. You people steal your music, our music. We know culture vulturing exists. We know this since Little Richard had his music stolen. But why give that to Sam Smith? Because he was on vacation, because he was on a boat, because he was with his friend after inserting and singing Stay With Me in his anal canal, Adam Lambert's anal canal. He says, oh, I don't like Michael Jackson. That's what makes you go crazy. That's what makes you talk disrespectful to him on Instagram. And also, by the way, if you look on YouTube and you look on most places, no one's really talking about this because no one cares. No one cares about what Stephanie has to say. Great voice, by the way. Fucking phenomenal voice. She can sing her ass off. You can't lie with that, you know? But no one really cares about this news. No one really cares. I mean, let's be honest, no one does. The only reason why I'm talking about this now is because today I really have no life. I'm not doing anything. You know, and it honestly literally just like made me laugh so hard when I heard the news, because I was just like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This oversensitivity, this faggotized generation. But she's from the past generation. So the fagotism was created scientifically. You can look this up on Wikipedia. About 40, 50 years ago. I believe it's when Boy George came into the play. Ah, man. People. Everybody's not going to like what you like. And everybody's not going to like people you like. I'm sorry. One of the reasons why Michael Jackson became who he wasn't just because of his talent. I'm sorry, it's not that easy. It's because of his parents. It's because of his brothers. It's because of his managers. It's because of his producers. And Michael Jackson couldn't produce like Prince could. Prince could go in the studio dolo, just by himself, and make an album. He did that with his first album, self-titled album, and he did that with his For You album, and he continued to do that here and there because he could do that. Prince mastered what, if I'm correct, 17 instruments by the time he was 20? It might have been less. I could have my information wrong, but it was something extraordinary like that. It was really extraordinary. Like a savant. Like he's just an alien. Prince is an alien. And he's touched millions of people. Prince is my top 3 favorite artists of all time. But I've met people who said they don't like his music. I don't care. I've met people who said they don't like him. I don't care. And if you're a white person saying it, I don't think you're a culture vulture. because you don't like somebody? I guarantee you, let Sam Smith say this about, had said this. Let Sam Smith say this about, let's think of somebody. Let's just think of somebody. I guarantee you, if Sam Smith said this about Jimi Hendrix, she would have said nothing. I guarantee you, if Sam Smith said this about John Legend, she would have said nothing. But because it's Michael Jackson and she loves him, she loves Michael Jackson. Oh my God, how dare you? How dare you have an opinion? How dare you say that you don't like another human being? Another human being, Michael Jackson, that was flawed like every single one of us. Another human being like Michael Jackson that ate and pooped. Another human being that took things and was inspired by other things. The glittering socks wasn't his idea. It was Bob Fosse. Snake in the Grass. Even some of his sounds that he gets in his singing is from other singers. He's a human being, and you just see these MJ fans that worship this dude so much and won't get off of his silver sequenced cock. Man, I'm tired of this conversation now, to be honest. I really am tired of it. You know, it's like I'm always talking to the anti-gay community. For those who don't know, you know, I even had the anti-gay community send anthrax to my house, which is really hard to get anthrax through New York, but they made it. You know, they were here. You know, I don't know if Sam Smith's a racist or not. I'm not going to say he is. I'm not going to say he isn't. I don't know him. I don't know him personally. I don't. And also, this thing with Stephanie about being a culture vulture. I mean, culture vultures now in today's society, it's just rare. It's just rare when you see, you know, these white people rocking away to Ray Shrimmer in the concerts and mosh pitting and dancing and crying and having shedding tears for Extentacion and being deep in love with Wiz Khalifa and Drake and Nicki Minaj. I mean, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, they're black. They're wiggers, you know? Not racially, by the way. I think black people can be wiggers. I think Asians with their little strudel noodles can possibly be Asian. I mean, wiggers. You know, a couple of days ago, I told you, I saw these two Chinese people fight with chopsticks. And they were calling each other niggers while they were fighting with chopsticks. You know, this is new age we live in. Yeah, man. This is just not a big deal. This shouldn't have even been a small amount of news. Even though I don't hear anybody talking about it besides little small networks talk about it, you know. And, you know, Stephanie, you know, with her black girl power, you know, she's getting like maybe 6,000 likes on her Instagram. So she thinks she's popping. But she doesn't know that. I mean, if I see her try to sell an album after this, I'm going to laugh. Because it's going to go plastic. It's going to go double plastic. And in a racist way. It's going to do it in a racist way. Here's the point, people. At the end of the day, people don't have to like what you like. People don't have to dislike what you dislike either. Like, that's what makes the world go round. We all do not agree with everything. Period. I know people who hate hip-hop. I know people who love hip-hop. I know people who hate rock. I know people who love rock. I know people who hate cartoons. I know people who love cartoons. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? I don't. My first girlfriend, my second girlfriend, who I love dearly, did not like Dragon Ball Z. She hated Dragon Ball Z. She hated it. Guess what? We never argued about it. Never. You wanna know why? Because she's allowed to dislike what she dislikes. And so am I. She didn't like the fact that I didn't like Justice League. She's like, how do you pick Marvel over DC? Guess what? We never argued about it. We playfully debated about it. That was it. Who cares? Who cares? There's more important things in the world than your favorite singer and celebrity or humanitarian. There's more important people in the world than Michael Jackson. I hate to tell you that. I'm sorry. It's the truth. It is what it is. Anyway, I'm done with this conversation. I'm exhausted. If you liked this video and you really understood this video and you loved it, dislike it and fuck you. If you hated this video and you were just like, who is this guy? What a loser. What a gay troll. What a dumbass, really. Then like this video. If you really didn't care at all and you listened to this whole thing, honestly, go fuck yourself. Peace.